AK. Sorry about that. That was my fault, technical. I haven't had coffee or caffeine or anything like that, so I'm a bit off my game.
You're all good. I forgive you.
Thank you. So what was the inspiration behind that?
Actually, at the time, I was with a guy,
Ooh.
and his eyes happened to be brown, believe it or not. So initially, my inspiration was like, yeah, I want to write a tune for my man, you know. So I could be like, here's a song I wrote for you.
Yeah, I was about to say women, but people. Yeah, feminism. No, people don't actually know how, like, if you write a song for them, appreciate the shit out of it.
Yeah. So that never actually happened. The whole appreciation thing. So it actually, ironically, became, because the lyrics are Take Me Higher.
Yeah.
It was indicative of the relationship not taking me high enough, if you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, it's kind of a double-sided inspiration where it comes from, I guess. So essentially it came from a really deep point of love.
Artists tend to do that.
Yeah.
So I have the same problem Alicia Moore, Pink has. She's like, when I'm happy, I'm useless. When I'm in a bad place, that's when all
the stuff happens.
It comes out.
Exactly. Like, I think if our relationship was, at the time, we're not together anymore, long time ago.
Your loss, bro. Your loss.
Yeah. Sorry. But, at the time, if things were going really well, that song wouldn't have probably happened, so I'm glad, everything's for a reason.
My best love songs have come out of breakups, so, it's back, when I was younger, when you broke up with somebody, you get a love song, and then you'd be playing, and you got the I Kill. How did it go wrong?
With a beer or something.
It was just music back then. As we got older, we introduced wine and beer, weed.
All the tools.
Cool. I wrote Scarecrow on the Rose. But I can actually have a woman here and ask her, because you don't actually know I'm going to ask, right?
No idea.
Okay. I suggested, and you can correct me.
Yeah.
If you must, but I said that the plight of the modern day woman is the lack of intimacy, not sex, but intimacy.
Yes.
Because of the economic emancipation, and Scarecrow on the Rose was like kind of going back on that and bringing back the. What is your perspective on the plight of the modern woman? From a woman.
From a woman.
Yeah.
Cool. I definitely think you are not wrong. So so that's, I think, definitely there's a big lack of that intimacy, not sexual. There's plenty of that, and it's pretty gross most of the time because people are so fickle with their bodies. But I still think
that or the gross, social media and the culture of porn.
Yeah, but also the ego and also the greed and the wanting to establish oneself as somehow above somebody else based on these sort of peripheral guidelines. But I think definitely the lack of intimacy and the lack of, I know what's annoying is there's all these feminists, right? And all these people are hating on all these feminists because they're saying, it's the same as the racism thing. It's like, if I call you racist, that means that I'm racist. And that's what it's become. So if a feminist is like, don't do that to a woman, then it almost looks bad on the feminist, like, for even saying that.
I don't think so.
I've seen it happen a lot.
Okay. My position on it is I don't see myself as a feminist, but I'm feminine string.
Yeah.
I was raised by a single mother. If my mom hadn't been strong, my life would have been atrocious. My mom had to go out into a misogynistic world, male-dominated world, and run business and be able to sit at the table and say, "You got your bowls. I'm a woman. These are my set of bowls." She
sounds like the woman.
And we're gonna do business on an equal level. You know what I'm saying? My sister's the same. She won't take crap from anybody.
Yeah.
Whether male, female, white or black, she doesn't care.
Yeah.
We're meeting on the same ground. So,
I think a big problem as well is like a lot of women in this day and age, because of the social conditioning and everything. I mean, it's not an excuse because, you make your own choices in life. But because of that, I think there's a suppressing of the inner feminine beauty in order to fulfill this expectation that society has in place, and especially with the media and social media and how everyone has everything now and they can all see and communicate with everyone and everything, generalising here, in the first world, everyone can. It's put in these sort of false, I think, things, and it's taking people away from truth somewhere, which is not good and not healthy, neither for men or women.
Yeah, I think so, because I have an adopted daughter, and when I met her, I'm not adopted, she's like my surrogate. Next year she turns 18, she's going to go to university, she's going to come stay with me.
Is she back?
No, she's 11. 11.
11.
Next to Wellington.
Oh, yeah. Levin.
Sorry.
Same shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, she grew up in a very abusive household, and her self-esteem, and she made me, it was down here. Yeah. Now she's up here, like, I'm going to take on the world.
Cool.
When I met her, she wasn't even thinking about university.
Really?
Now she is.
Man, that's so awesome. What a good legacy to leave.
I think it's the power of words.
Yeah.
Just not simply the power of words. I think I've always thought that verbal abuse is way worse than physical abuse.
Yeah.
Physical abuse or ass whoop stops when that person finishes. Your ego is what carries that out. But when somebody says something to you, it's just playing over and over in your head, over and over in your head. So watch what you say. From two poets, watch what you say.
I know to have a tongue on me as well, so I have to always be really careful because
it's difficult because I'm allergic to dumb people.
Same, I'm allergic to dumb people and egos. If I smell an ego on you,
the attempt,
I will break it
the
down.
Assassination.
Ego death. Yeah, we should create an album called Ego Death, and all that who listen to it, by the end of it,
stop giving me ideas. Definitely that. So,
that kind of thing.
It's gonna be very, very interesting.
I'm excited for the future, for sure.
I'm excited for like 3 weeks. 1st of July, hopefully we'll release Brown Eyes on. We'll be sampling it on SoundCloud and my webpage and everywhere else, and then on the 1st of July we'll
release.
Put it out. Yeah.
Exciting! I can't wait to hear what you're gonna do.
I've sent it to the guys in New York. I don't know what they're gonna do animation wise, but they're really excited. They like it. They think they'll actually do it in the States. I forget how big that scene is in the States and in Europe.
Yeah, it's true.
And then maybe you can DJ and I can come take my shirt off and just do my thing. We can both be shirtless.
Yeah, why not?
The one scary thing is that she's crazy enough to do.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah. Two last questions.
Yep.
Do you think people should be more honest about their weed consumption?
Yes.
Why?
Everyone should just be more honest about everything, period. And so if they smoke weed, be honest about that. Yeah. But I think also in terms of social progress, it's good to be socially aware of the amount of people that actually smoke it, and because I think a lot of people still don't know how many people actually smoke it, unless you smoke it. It sounds like a circle here, but it's true, like, all walks of life, like a lot of my friends' parents, and it's just it's not at all, and they're all successful people, happy people, loving, caring people. It's got, all the stigmas that are associated are really, if people knew how many people smoked, all the stigmas would fall away, I think.
I think the more self-destructive people I've met are alcoholics, not weed smokers.
Exactly, yeah.
Myself, I don't really dabble in weed.
Because you're self-destructive.
No. Oh, ouch. ouch.
You set that up for yourself.
I said they're more self-destructive. I'm a happy drunk. I'm one of those people, I get that look. Okay, that's one. And two was, I've been called many things because I've taken a stance against domestic and sexual violence towards women. Maybe you should take it up for men as well. But yeah, your position on that?
On domestic violence?
Sexual and domestic. There seems to be like this, like I said, there's a reawakening of ignorance. And to find out how many women are... Actually, that's two questions, because I found that a lot of women silently hate men because of, rapes and molestations in youth.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that, and there's a lot of girls who I've met who have some really deep underlying psychological problems because something like that happened when they were really, really young, and they were too scared to talk about it, and
or ashamed into
silence.
silence.
And then slowly this thing just develops, and they become quite broken humans. So I think the bottom line is just honesty and just openness, and having the courage to do. Because I'm a Leo, and my pride, my pride is like I need my pride to be intact, but when it comes to asking for help or, saying something, you have to really put the pride down and be like, that's okay.
Yeah, it was kind of tragic because in my book there is something, the second book, Letters to My Unborn, that's a very big issue. It's tragically, as a teenager, a lot of, you know how they had the roastbusters?
The what?
Roastbusters. It's disgusting guys who got underage girls drunk
and
Unfortunately, that also happened when I was growing up. We didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about it.
That's the thing.
And often I say silence is perverse. So,
and I say to that, laughter is priceless.
It's true. It's true.
No, definitely honesty and openness are the two sort of things. And I get confronted a lot because in this particular culture that we live, openness is not a thing. Here people prefer to rub things under the carpet, oh, that's not pretty, or don't look at that type thing. But no, I believe, maybe that's culturally because from Serbia, we're a lot more, straight up and boisterous and open and, so if there is a problem, I would rather address it,
confront it
and then move on as opposed to just ignore it until it gets impossible to deal with. So.
I think coming from Zimbabwe is a bit more different. It's a very conservative. Zimbabwe is like divided right down this line where I think it's an economic divide where the people who have less are more in your face and tell you like this is what's up. They don't have time to be snooty and worried about the image. They're like, listen, I got too much struggle. I got hit so much.
And that's probably why all of Serbia is kind of like that.
And then there's the side of Zimbabwe which is like, no, I'm so worried about my image, and we put on this mask, and instead of dealing with issues, we kind of like it's more important what people can see. But
interesting.
I think that causes emotional unhappiness, and that's when you get all this dysfunctional behavior.
Yeah, and I think putting the three countries together now, I think in that context, chronologically, it would be Serbia is at the start with, in terms of the most sort of upfrontness, and not many people were wearing a mask. Then you've got Zimbabwe in the middle, where it's cut down the half wearing a mask, half completely straight up. Then you've got New Zealand, majority wearing a mask.
And not real about what's going on. But I think also there's a very confused sense of masculinity in New Zealand. Because I've actually found out some of the guys who overcompensate are actually the ones who are buying gay. Secret lives.
Because they're not like in touch with their emotions. I think a lot of guys don't actually know how to experience their own emotions. They don't know really what to do about them, and they don't look at them. They kind of will just very quickly do something.
If it's not man, if it's not rugby, if it's not, they have to
make it more.
Take it out.
Yeah. So again, it's this image that they're constantly carving. So women and men, that we do it both. So.
I've only dated two New Zealand women, and it was rough. I think New Zealand women, y'all good, but it's
based on what we've just been talking about.
It's different. I've dated women from all over the world, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I've been dying to say it's in the book anyway, so go to hell.
Read it.
What I said? I said this penis is the United Nations. It doesn't discriminate. It's out there. It's equal opportunity people. But I wasn't trying to be funny because that's been my experience. I've traveled England, Australia, Singapore. So obviously, life happens.
It does. Amen.
One last question I asked before we wrap it up. because we know your attention span isn't that big.
Neither is mine.
Yeah, one of the things I found that plagued, actually, I don't know about Serbia, but definitely my country, Zimbabwe, from my experience, and definitely New Zealand, is healthy sexual expression, like open sexual expression. I met a girl who had never, ever experienced foreplay in her life. I was like, what?
Whoa, what, in New Zealand?
Yeah. And one who thought her job was just to lie there and, and then there's just a whole lot of things where, for me, like, right, again, with the book and with the music, it's about intimacy, like, I read this, it's been a long time since I read it. I watched this documentary on pornography, and they say that because so many people watch it, the experience of intimacy between two people is, because pornography is just somebody getting poked, where intimacy is where you're expressing mind, body, and soul in a physical
and you're sharing.
So what was your view on is there a way to get healthier sexual education to the youth so that their experience is good? Because
I think it all stems from consciousness. I really do. So if, as a whole, we are not very conscious as beings, I think no amount of changing the system of education or introducing a different way to teach sex is going to alter the way things are, because until people learn how to think for themselves and be conscious beings, take every given scenario and be like, right, consciously, what is more, like for me, for my soul, what is the right step to take? And I think if more people ask that kind of question before every step in their lives, there would be a lot more room for intimacy and learning properly some of these things.
Yeah, that's true. But people also need to know intimacy is like, it's not generic.
No, but it's like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it, right?
Yeah.
So you can try to teach someone about intimacy, but take this for example. I worked at this place. I'm not going to do much detail, but I walked into the lunchroom, right? There's 50-year-old ladies, all sorts of walks of life in this lunchroom, right? Young and old, black and white, doesn't matter. And this girl was so openly, she was eating her lunch, and she was telling everyone her first, when she lost her virginity. And she was like, oh, well, and she's this, plastic Barbie thing with fake fucking, and she's like, oh, I was only 8, and I had it up the arse. And just talking like a truck driver about her ass and about this random dude, and like there was just no sense of anything. Like I had to walk out because I was like, I'm embarrassed for this person, But she was just like, oh yeah, my bum, and I was.
She doesn't know any better though.
Yeah, and so how would you then teach her about intimacy? For the love of God, how would you teach somebody who had it up the arse when they were 9 before the vagina about intimacy? Like, there's just no, throw it off a fucking building.
No. I don't think that's fair because what happens to the young girl who's been molested, and then now she's trying to be in a normal relationship, right? And that's what she keeps having these. All I know is that I've dated somebody who didn't have somebody who was romantic. And she enjoyed the romance, but it made her feel uncomfortable. Now, physically, when I did something romantic, so we had to compromise. Right. That's what a relationship is. Yeah. It's a compromise. Yeah. So I think I had to get like a really long interview date where we just sit down and go hard. Yeah. Philosophize and go mental. Yeah.
No, there should be more support, I think. There should be more support.
I think they just have to have people talk more about it so people can be like, that's me.
Yeah, like, that happened to me too, and then they feel more comfortable and familiar, and like, they're your sister or brother, as opposed to like, oh, they're just some random and they don't know what I've been through, so I'm just gonna, if everybody understands that we've all been through some pretty fucked up shit, I think.
Yeah.
People would be more willing to talk about it.
Yeah, it was like one of those definite experiences. Because I do have the song I'm working on called Take the Mask Off. And when I was in primary school, we didn't know that one of the guys who was my friend he's taking out the ass from his father. Oh, and this is in some African culture where it's completely homophobic.
Shit, yeah. And so he couldn't tell anyone.
He couldn't tell anybody. Then he grows up to be gay and people are like, what's wrong with him? Oh. So it's like removing those stigmas because we don't want to admit that we dropped the ball. I think that's the biggest part. We start saying, okay, the ball's been dropped, now let's pick it up and let's start running with it. But we could do this all day.
We could. When we should one day.
Hopefully by the end of the year, before I leave, we'll set up our own show.
Yeah.
And talk about stuff that he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then you get your DJ set out and kill him. So yeah, you can see us planning the future right before you. Thank you very much, Eva, for coming on my page.
Thank you.
And hope we give you something entertaining and worth listening to. Peace.